So we're going to try to fix up the noisy fan on this air fryer here. It's a very popular model over on Amazon. I've already done a fix on this one where we had a faulty connection on the door. And I thought at the end, I mean, it is working, but loads of people said that they've got this model and it shouldn't sound like that. So then people have said that there must be something catching on the fan. But I've had a look on the inside and by finger, it's spinning perfectly, quietly, doesn't seem to be kind of rattling around the place. But yet, if I push the fan up and down, there does seem to be quite a bit of play up and down. So I don't know if it is fixable, but I thought I'd record it just in case it might be a little bit of fun. Right, okay, so if I turn this on, and if I go here, listen to that. Yeah, it doesn't sound right, does it? So I'm going to unplug it. Hopefully it won't be too warm just yet. Let me take the drawer out and I want to show you. Now what's interesting is there was this horrible gunk round here and now I'm wondering whether or not it was dropped because you can clearly see it's had next to no use. I'm wondering whether it was dropped, the handle was glued back on and then maybe sent back to the retailer because the catch is broken. There's weird sort of hard looking glue type stuff around here. I thought it was food, but it doesn't want to come off very easily. Now looking at it, it feels like glue. And also the fan is rattling. So I think maybe it is some kind of drop damage. But if you have a look, let me just see, is this warm? No, it's okay. Let me get a little bit of plastic to knock the fan around. So if you see the fan's just in here above the element, and we'll have a close look. I didn't want to spend too long because I just wanted to have a very quick look. I wanted to get it on camera. But if I spin here, can you see? It's spinning nice. It doesn't sound funny or anything like that. So I think we need to take it apart and see what's going on. Now check this out. If I get my finger in the middle of the fan, listen. Yeah, so I'm just moving it up. So there's quite a lot of play there, isn't there? So let's take it apart, have a look at the top. Maybe something's hitting against the top, or some people said it could be imbalanced. I mean, it's definitely not hitting against anything here. Let's just whir it around slowly, see if we can see anything that might be imbalanced. No, I mean, it doesn't seem to be a huge amount of play side to side. Maybe the motor isn't just great from manufacture, but the very fact that this could have been dropped, maybe something has become a bit dislodged. Alright, let's take the top off. And we're going to undo the 3 screws to get access to the motor. And I'm just undoing this little catch up the top here. There we go. Right, let's zoom in and have a look at this motor here. So it's clearly working, it's just noisy. Why are you noisy? Let's lift up the middle. So we got that much play in it. But yet none of that is bent up. Now is it rattling because it's so loose here? Thing is, I can't make that go down anymore, can I? It is in. It is in. There's nothing I can do with that. See, maybe that should be up there. That looks more natural there, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So how am I going to pull that up? Looks like the element's riveted in here. It looks like a rivet. So I'm not going to be able to get to the element. There is a nut at the bottom here, and one of the a comment did come through actually about they had to tighten up the nut on there. So if I was to tighten up the nut, that would pull it down, but would it not cause friction against the top then? Because the whole thing's loose, you know what I mean? It's not that the fan's loose, the whole shaft is loose. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's take off the bottom here because we might have a chance then of getting to that nut. So I undo all the bottom screws to realise that I don't need to undo them whatsoever. You need to undo the top half of it, and that will give you access to the fan and the element. Right, here we go. Here we are. Excellent. Right, well, that gives us access, so I didn't have to undo the bottom at all. Now, let's zoom in. Would tightening that up make any difference at all, I wonder? I wonder, is this reverse thread? It seems to be getting harder the more I undo it. Let's see if it's reverse thread. Ah, it's reverse thread. Nice. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So for this one, you need to go to the right to loosen it. Let's go clockwise. Right now. So it's got nothing to do with this being loose. And I can't push that down anymore because it's against its stop anyway. You can see that that is against the stop. Yeah. So even right against the stop now, I can still lift the whole thing up and down. So I don't believe that it is going to be. I don't believe it's going to be fixable. The whole motor itself, and if I was to push that up, yeah, I can't push it up against anything. I know you're not going to be able to see, but it's the motor itself. In here I can see the motor itself moving up and down. So I presume this is just one that's been made with quite a bit of play. The other option is maybe the fan here is ever so slightly imbalanced, and that's what's causing the noise when it ramps up to speed. So tightening up that isn't going to make any difference because it's just going to put it tighter on the shaft, but it's already tight on the shaft. Unless of course it's been assembled incorrectly. To me it looks like there should be some kind of like washer or something in here to stop so much up and down movement. See, I think it needs to be set up like that, at the top there. Not there. But gravity's pulling it down to there. I think it needs to be there. Can't make that go up though. Just going to undo the heater just to see if there's any way that I can get it out of the way. There's little tabs here that you push in, you see, to loosen them up. Can you see that's you see it comes off then nice and easy. Little locking things that go into the hole. Got to remember to make sure the earth wire goes back under here. Right now, are you going to pull out enough to allow me, because I might be able to bend this back, you see. Here we go. I'll just bend that, I don't care about that. Fine, I'll bend it back again. Now, hold on now, hold on now, hold on. That's moving up and down here. Are you going to come out? Yes, you are. I wonder, has something been assembled incorrectly? Don't know what that is. Why is that? That's made out of some kind of fiberglass or something. See, we've got movement here, you see. Got too much movement there. See, annoyingly, they've pop riveted this metal onto here. I don't want to get involved in drilling out the pop rivets and putting new pop rivets in, if I'm honest with you. If I had another one, I could see the play up and down on it. I wonder, could I take this out now? If I undo these two. See, if you look there, can you see it's keyed? It's not a circle, it's like a D in the middle there. So it can't slip, because this shaft is going to be keyed as well. So these are the bearings here. There is no bearings. It's just a metal bush held in with some fingers. So maybe they've been forced up. Margot, can you see? So, hold on 1 second. Maybe this has been forced up and this needs to be pushed down more. Could that be it? I wonder, can you push it down easily or not? Oh yeah, look, here we go. Hold on, hold on. Ah, right, okay. Maybe if it was dropped, would the impact have travelled? But unless somebody's whacking the fan, why would the impact have gone up to here? So that isn't designed to turn, is it? It's just designed to allow a little bit of wobble. Well, even if I don't fix it, it's still interesting seeing stuff like that. Ah, here we go. Now, am I going to be able to take this out? Oh, here we go. Now we're wanting water car. Now we're all coming out. Right you are. Okay, okay. So now. Oh, so we got another fan. That plastic thing in here is another fan. If you look, can you see the fins? There, you see the fins at the bottom? So to me, it looks like the plastic's a little bit loose on this, on the motor. Now this is why I like taking things apart, because you get to understand things more. And I already knew that these work like a little fan oven. So you have a little fan and it's blowing air past the heater element straight onto the food. So you're going to get a lot of heat on that food. But now there's also a plastic fan above and it's blowing air to the outside world. Great in the winter time because that hot air is heating up your kitchen, for example. But in the summertime you still want to eat and yet you don't want the hot air in your kitchen. So it seems incredibly inefficient. I'm not sure why these are not insulated to keep the heat in the oven part, but yet not coming up to the electronics. It just seems like this is just a cheaper way of keeping the electronics cool by just shoving all that hot air and putting it to the outside world. But in doing that, aren't you also cooling down the oven a little bit? I know it doesn't really make a difference on something so small. It's going to heat up and cool down pretty quick. But if this was as big as a fan oven in your kitchen, like your normal oven, I think this would be more inefficient than your fan oven. I think the only reason this is efficient is because the cooking area is so small and you don't need preheat times and stuff. I'm sure there has to be a better way of insulating the electronics than having a fan spinning and shoving all that hot air out to the kitchen where you don't want it. You want that hot air in cooking the food rather than being outside. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Have they done it like this purely because it's cheap and cheerful? Maybe if you were to get a really high-end one of these that was more energy efficient, would it all be insulated and would that exhaust be reused again before it's shoved to the outside world? Because it's shoving out hot air in a place where you don't want hot air to be on many months of the year. There you go, you get a good look at the fan now, plastic one. So this is what we could do, is we could turn the fan here and see does the plastic thing look straight. Now that plastic to me looks a little bit up and down, doesn't it? There, that's a high spot there. So there must be a low spot. This is a low spot here. Can that be bent up, I wonder? There. I'm just wondering if it's just bad tolerances. I don't actually know if it can be fixed. So I'm just wondering if it's a kind of mass-produced, relatively cheap product, then maybe, you see, with tolerances, if they're a little bit out, maybe this one's suffering from noise more than other ones. So by now what I've done is I've put the bottom part back together because we don't need to have the bottom all loose flapping around the place because we know we can access things from the top. And I do manage to get this plastic thing out by the, although the kind of top of the oven is riveted on, there's still a bit of play because it's only riveted on one side, so it does allow you to take that out. And then I can take out this plastic thing and we can look at it a bit closer. Hold on a minute, look, you can take this out here. Oh, hold on, has that gone in here? Am I imagining that? or that's gone in, hasn't it? Either via heat or that's not flat. So if that's not flat, that could be what's causing the imbalance when that's spinning. If that's not like balanced, won't that be doing that? I don't think this can be fixed. I think that that is misshapen. So has heat gone up to here and melted that already? Well, I'm barking up the wrong tree here, and if I think about it with a sensible head on, this fan is plastic, it's really lightweight. Is it really going to throw off the motor spinning at that speed? I think it's probably quite unlikely. If you think about your car tyre when it's not balanced, you don't notice it going 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. It's only when you get up to, what is it, 60 miles an hour or over 50, you start to see your steering wheel vibrate. So I don't think the weight of the plastic would be enough to really throw the motor out that much. But now that we have the plastic fan out of the way, it gives us access to 4 screws which will remove the bottom bearing for the motor. So now we can look at it in more detail, and I do discover something. So hold on now, look here. It's wearing against here, isn't it? So it's metal against metal. Can you see here? That's fresh wear there, is it not? And that bit is sitting on here, which I presume it shouldn't be, should it? Surely this bit should be against here. No, I don't know. Or it's not going to be able to just sit in the middle there, is it? It has to be there. It has to be hitting against something, but that doesn't seem right. I think because this allows a little bit of movement, I think it should be this sitting against here and not that. So why have we got that? Why is this hitting against here? Because we've like got a nylon bush here. I think that should be against that. How are we going to get that to happen? Let's see what's happening on this one. Yeah, look here. That nylon is hitting against this gold bush. Yeah, not the metal. I think we found our problem. But I don't think I can fix it. Unless we were to put a washer in here. Right, I've got my tub of odds and sods of screws and washers and this, that and the other. Annoyingly, the only thing that I can find small enough is that little washer there, but even that needs to be drilled out of the middle. But I've got a couple of other bits that may work. So let's bring them over to the mat and see if we can do something. So the good news is that we found what the problem is. That's half the battle. I'm wondering whether, I just can't see how drop damage would have caused that. See, why is that not down far enough? Yeah, this thing here doesn't look faulty. It looks like it would sit there. I mean, if you look at this one, you can see it's a couple of mil down from there, and you can see it's kind of flat with the fingers at the bottom. And this one is a couple of mil down, and you can see that that is flat with the fingers at the bottom. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm wondering whether when this was pressed, because with this top bit, can you see that we only have the, why do we need so much white stuff there? We don't, do we? So I think that that needs to go in more. I'm wondering if that was pressed down more, would more white stuff come out the bottom? Do you know what I mean? Let's say if you had a, if you could force it down here. Let me get the vise. Marcel's vise to the rescue. Let's take off this because I'm going to need all the force that it can muster up. Here we go. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go on that bottom one, not the top one. The bottom one here. That way then. Hopefully it won't mess up. Ah, look, it's coming up here. So what's happening here? Is there coils in the middle of this or something? Ah, okay. Let's see now. That might be useful. Let's just see what's going on. Maybe I could move that one down to the bottom. This could be a blessing. This could be a blessing because then it's nylon against... Interesting. So that doesn't go through. Do I need to have that one there when I've already got a little lip there? Hold on now. Hold on. Will that be okay here? would this be better at the bottom? We got 2 here. Wow, we got 2. So do they space these out when they're making them? So if that was to go there, would that solve the problem here? Not going to know, am I, until that's whacked on, which I don't want to do. I don't want to cause wear on the top. No, we need something that turns on the top, don't we? So let's take that off the bottom a second. Did they forget to put the ones on the bottom? So maybe I could put that one on and put this small one, if I can take it off, on the top. Because then it will allow movement at the top. You know, I'm getting my hopes up now. It will allow movement at the top and it will pack out the space at the bottom. I thought the plastic was running right the way through here, you see. Yes, result. Right, okay. I feel really hopeful now. If I put the small, thin one up the top, that's going to allow this to move against the top one. Yeah? So there we go. That's going to allow that to move against that one there. And then if we put this bigger one on the bottom, I wonder would that pack it out enough to allow it to move on the bottom? I'm not sure. I think we're going to have to see. So I'm going to force this one back on. There we go. Nah, I don't think it's big enough. I've got these pin plugs here. What these are for is we used to use them when I was with BT. You would drill a 5mm hole, you would hammer this into the pebble dash, and then you would put your cable cleat in here, your cable clip in here. So they are quite hard wearing. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be harder than the nylon, I'm not too sure. But I just want to see if I was to, you know, make a washer out of this. Obviously, if I had loads of nylon washers and stuff, you would pop one of these in. I haven't, so I'm just trying to make do with what I've got, trying to think of a way that I can, you know, get this on. I'm just going to burn the hole bigger through the middle. Right, now I'm going to heat this up and then I'm going to put it on and hopefully it will mould into shape. Right, let's get this one on now and heat it up again and whack that onto there, and hopefully it will start to lie nice and flat. Oh, there we go, that's spread out nicely. Look at that. I think I'm happy with that, because that's just acting as a spacer, and it's going to be this that's wearing, and it's going to be this that's wearing, isn't it? Now, that has to surely now be sitting on here. Hallelujah. Hallelujah! There. It's not grinding. It's not grating. Now, it might only last one go, but the thing is, I've proved what the fault is, and most people obviously wouldn't repair a product that you can buy new for £50-ish, unfortunately. But the way I look at it is, if you enjoy doing it, then why do you have to calculate your time to money? People always say, yeah, well, you might as well go out and, you know, do your job. But the thing is, you might only be able to do so many hours a week, and you might not enjoy your job. Oh, look at that. That doesn't, that's not grating like it was before. Fantastic. Right, I'm thinking that will be quite hard wearing, but I can't see that there's going to be much rotational force on that. That's just packing it out. It should be that nylon washer, which is going to do all the wearing. Okay, now I have to try to get this back on. So this is going to take quite some time now to get it all back on. It's going to be there, is it not? So this fault had nothing to do with drop damage. It had nothing to do with a metal fan that was scraping against an element or anything else, or nothing to do with a slightly misshapen plastic fan. It was all to do with a fault, I reckon, from the manufacturer, because there should be some sort of packing piece to stop it being metal against metal. Looking back when editing, it does look like there was a white nylon washer at the bottom. I thought maybe it was a plastic bush thing going right the way through, but I don't think it is. I think if I was to take that white piece out, there would be metal behind it. I think it's missing a metal washer that should sit underneath that white nylon washer. So basically I've kind of made my own one, haven't I, with a pin plug and a metal washer. Is it going to be as good as the piece from the manufacturer? I doubt it, but does it seem to be spinning freely now? Yes. I am adding a little bit of 3-in-1 oil, which will hopefully help it a little bit. I appreciate the oil will burn off eventually, but it might give it a helping hand for a while. So yeah, interesting one. I think this was faulty from when it was made, but you can put down in the comments section what you think. So now, next time you see this, it's all back together. I'm about to turn it on. Will it be quieter? Yes or no? Let's find out. Here we go. What do you think? I'm going to say yes. I'll be disappointed if it's noisier or the same as before. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're in. Come on. Come on. I think that's better. I think that is better. And it's definitely working. I can feel air coming out here. It's not very warm yet. That's normal, isn't it? That's normal. I'm trying to think now. But that, yeah, that's not like doing that sort of, you know, like aircraft taking off. And I can feel heat building up now. Oh, it actually sounds like nice. It's not grating. Yeah, and I've got heat coming out now. Oh, results. Right, I'm just going to quickly, for the sake of the video, play back the beginning bit, see what it sounded like, and then we'll cut back to this. And if I go here, listen to that. There's nice heat coming out of that now. Well, it's clear to me after watching that bit of the video back now that it's much quieter than it was before. So that noise before was metal against metal. And now, even though I've got the dishwasher on and this on here, it's still quieter than it was before. I honestly think that will be a lasting repair, but this is going to be living at my dad's place. So if it does fail again, then maybe I can feature it in a future video. And you never know, we might get another fix out of it yet. But thoroughly enjoyed both videos on this one. Both of them have been mechanical fixes, and I think both of them have been pretty interesting considering it's just a bog standard air fryer. So yeah, really happy with that repair. If you enjoyed this video, give it a massive thumbs up, and I will see you all very soon.